Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Intuitive Garden Tarot. If you're new here, my name is Nicole, and my apologies for missing last week's reading. I took a few days off to get away from all the noise and the stress and the chaos, and guess what? I got away from the stress of my daily responsibilities, but the noise and the chaos of the earth and the world was even louder without the distractions of daily life. And I don't know about you all, please let me know in the comments, but boy, does everything feel very heavy lately. I certainly have my good days or my good half days, but I'm feeling like my body is just so heavy. It's very hard to move and function, and daily tasks just feel very draining in a way that's new. This has been happening progressively over the past few years, I've noticed. Just more and more of a struggle to get through the 3D parts of the day. But it's really kicked up a notch, several notches, it seems, in the past couple months, let's say. And from what I'm hearing and sensing, it's just not going to let up. In fact, it's probably going to continue to gain momentum. I speak often about grounding, so do many people, because it is so true and so effective. But I'm going to add in now present timing, something I've learned from Nancy Rebecca. I encourage you to check out her channel or attend some of her live events. They're very powerful and enriching. Present timing is about reminding yourself, your consciousness, your energy field, what date it is and what your age is. And I found that particularly helpful today because I know we all, it's not just me, I'm sure all of you oscillate between thoughts of the past and the future constantly as we're going through our daily tasks. And, very little of our time is spent totally in the present moment. And I just feel that going from past to future energy and not being in the moment is more intense than ever for myself. And it's probably not just me with this strong energy of change and dissolution and rebuilding going on inside the earth, on the earth, among humanity and all life forms, let's say. And even galactically, there are those bringing messages that it's not even just Earth, that there's a major transformation and ascension process going on. So I just want to encourage any of you, if you haven't already thought of that, to remind yourself what day it is and what the date is and what your current age is. If you find yourself kind of just really too floaty and having a difficult time focusing, and that just might be one way to anchor yourself back in. Again, please let me know in the comments how you're doing so I'm not just talking to myself and my camera. I am really intrigued to see what the cards have to say about the energy for this week, so let's tune into that for the week of July 21st through 27th. What is the energy for my viewers? And what is the strongest message we need to hear today? Remember, this is a general reading. You may book a personal reading with me by going to my website, intuitivegardentarot.org. And thank you for all of the clients that have scheduled with me. I've really enjoyed working with you, and that has also been taking up some of my time lately. So thank you for your patience. For those of you who are waiting for more videos, they're coming. All right, so we have the Five of Wands, Seven of Wands, Ace of Wands, Prince of Wands, Six of Swords, Queen of Swords, and Three of Swords. Are you noticing anything here? We just have wands and swords, so that's fire and air element energy here. There's no water. There's a little bit of a reference to it in the Six of Swords imagery, and there are no pentacles, no cups, which are the water element, no major arcana, which might be good because this feels like an intense week, so maybe not. Well, let's start with the recent past, and this might explain the intensity. Boom. This is a major activation happening. Look at that imagery. And let me know how that resonates with you if this is how you've been feeling lately. Things might be exploding, imploding, leveling up, getting charged up. This can be with very creative energy, inspired energy. It can be with very intense, angry, passionate energy, or even overwhelm, kind of like feeling all your circuits blown. And I'm personally noticing by the way that my nerve system is very sensitive. Really, in the past couple days, little sounds or noises that are normal, yard work in the neighborhood, are really getting on my nerves. So I just want to share that if any of you are feeling that, so it's not just you and you're not losing it. Okay, so the Five of Wands is how you're showing up at the beginning of this reading here. And look at that imagery again of really holding space for yourself and dissolving all those old blockages, that energy that no longer suits you. See how it's like melting down like lava inside of this character's body, and she's inside this volcano. And if any of you are following Earth weather or space weather, again, shout out to Stefan Burns. Please check out his channel on YouTube. He gives really clear, interesting, educational, informational updates on what's going on with solar flares, with galactic interactions, astrology, as well as how everything's impacting the Earth and the Earth's magnetic sphere, the ionosphere, the troposphere. I only have the most basic understanding of what he says, so please bear with his information. Sometimes there are some parts that are a little over my head or don't quite make sense to me, but overall, I get so much out of his updates, and I highly encourage you to look into that because there is a lot of earthquake and volcano eruption activity happening. And as I've said before, as many of you already know, what's happening on the outside is a mirror of what's happening on the inside. We're all having our individual meltdowns, our individual breakthroughs. Hopefully, because that's the beauty of the breakdowns, is the gift of the breakthrough that comes with it. And when we're in it, it can just really feel so, we're so accustomed to being in our own bubbles and being separated from the whole. So our perception of our experience, if we're feeling overwhelm or intense sadness or anger, or just anxiety, even fear, it's really easy to think that it's just our individual experience, but this is shouting out that it's quite universal. It's not a failure, it's not a flaw to be having this experience. It's right in alignment with what's going on. It's appropriate, okay? And look at this here, the Seven of Wands. In this deck in particular, this is such a spiritual image of really holding space for yourself, perhaps even ritual space for yourself. If you do anything like that, setting an intention for what it is you're calling out for, and really acknowledging what you're releasing. I'm feeling this very much so with that lion's roar and his hand on his heart, as being acknowledgement. I really feel like when we resist the stuff that's percolating, that's bubbling, that wants to bubble up out of this volcano here, if we try to, put a lid on it and keep it down, first of all, it just takes so much of our energy and joy away. But it also actually gives strength to the energy that we're fighting up against. And it's just going to show up even louder and harder. So by kind of calling it out, recognizing it, acknowledging it as it's coming up through you as an individual or what you're noticing in the world. And this might be a stretch for some of you. This might also be a familiar concept for others of you. But really giving gratitude as you acknowledge what's moving through, giving it thanks for what this energy, what these experiences have taught you, how they've made you stronger, and also just acknowledging their existence, even if you're not in gratitude for them. But that goes a long way to healing it. And it seems, in a way, simple, but in another sense, that's really what it is. We sometimes make healing more complicated than it has to be. And with the Prince of Wands here in the heart of the reading, I just, again, love this deck. I'm so glad this deck wanted to speak the loudest today, so this is why I chose it. There's that lion in the background, too, behind the Prince of Wands. This is my Technicolor Dreamcoat card, and I always hear like the chimes, the musical chimes, the full spectrum of magic that is available. Look at the unicorn as well. So he's spreading his magic wand, and out of his wand comes a rainbow with butterflies and stars and glitter and flowers and a unicorn. I mean, I'm grateful with how I started out my check in at the beginning of this reading and how this reading began. This really is telling me that this is a magical time, and a lot of beautiful things are really coming to fruition already. And if you aren't seeing them, maybe look a little closer and again, acknowledge and give a shout out to even the tiniest little things, changes, or points of beauty that you can recognize in yourself, in others, or in your environment around you, in the earth. Because I feel like we're on a journey right now, and it's kind of just beginning. And there is so much magic and beauty, and there's so many gifts to come from this process that I really am hearing, like, hang in there, guys, just hang in there. The show ain't over yet, and oh, it's going to be delightful and surprising in many ways. So it's worth the challenges and the obstacles of the stress and the chaos and the breakdowns that you might be experiencing or seeing. If you're not experiencing yourself, you might be seeing it, in the world arena, in your community, etc. In nature, there's a lot going on in nature, right? So the outcome of this reading, or the energy towards the end of the week, is the Six of Swords. And this is the only little reference to water here that I'm getting right now. There's such a peace and calm coming. And thank goodness. So with the work you're doing or enduring, it seems that peace of mind is coming to you, and it's really coming to light where your peace of mind rests, and what thoughts and battles, whether they're internally or externally expressed or both, need to just be put to rest so that peace can be attained for all. And there's a lot of self-nurturing coming out of here too in this imagery for me today. So really being gentle with yourself. Cocooning might be the best way to get through this time, really. Look at this Eskimo, Inuit type individual here, all wrapped up in their natural skins, all cuddled up and snuggled up. That looks like, the butterfly in a chrysalis, or a moth in its larva, but there's something very soothing about it. So I feel like what you're going through and what you're experiencing is really calling you to get very clear on how to nurture yourself first and foremost, particularly in your emotions. because there is so much emotion in all this fire here coming through. And for any of you who connect with whale spirit, that is shining through on this card. Such beautiful, loyal, wise, enduring creatures that are very, very ancient. So tapping into that energy, if that's something that resonates with you, might be something you want to do this week or think about or research. And the Queen of Swords is here, and I'm feeling her as an authority figure, like she's bringing some justice and order to all this transformation. Look at all these butterflies on her skirt and the big one on her chest around her heart. There's much wisdom to be gained and intellect and experience from what you're going through and from what you're witnessing this week. And I feel that you have the opportunity to really assimilate information in a higher level way than you have been before, and that might be from this clarity, this peace of mind that's coming, or maybe some of you are already in that, already starting to get a taste of that. This energy is so strong, by the way, too, that it might not just be about this week. It's going to bleed forward a little bit as well. But she is very poised and very centered in her truth and in the truth and in some kind of cosmic truth. And I have not watched Nancy Rebecca's latest video, but I did see something about the crown chakra being activated, and that is really being highlighted here on this woman's crown area, all that cosmic light, starlight just flooding in. So again, just be gentle with yourselves, as nurturing as you can be, as simple as you can make each day. That's what I'm doing, and trust me, I am battling with my own inner critic and my own inner judge about how much I should be getting done or am supposed to be getting done, and what's wrong with me that I'm moving so slowly and I can't just accomplish any more than I can. I just surrender. My arms are up in the air in terms of my response to myself. This is unprecedented and quite a challenging time of this journey right now. So please, 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 please remember to give yourself a break, give others a break as well around you, because we're all going through this. And we're all in different levels of perception. Those of you watching this video might not be in relationships with people who watch these kinds of videos or care about this level of awareness. So again, just knowing that everyone's processing this energy, even if they're not seeing it from this wide of a lens, so to speak. Have compassion for them whenever you can as well, if others are getting on your nerves. It's kind of probably mutual and reciprocal, right? So last here we have the Three of Swords. And this is particularly strong imagery, again, in this deck for heartbreak, heartache, sadness, grief, overwhelming grief. And that might be, for a lot of you, what's coming up here. I know it has for me. But here I am to tell you about it. So when you're in the thick of it, sometimes it seems like that's where you're going to stay, or that's now the new reality. But I cannot stress enough that there is so much still coming to the surface that's been buried, and it's not even all our own or even from this lifetime. So it can be just truly overwhelming, and she's down on her knees. And I have been talking to some friends too about this time, and other friends who are experiencing this energy as well. And the blessing of the intensity of this overwhelm and heaviness and being down on our knees is that for those of us, those of you, myself included, who have been kind of fighting the breakdown, which is kind of inherent for most people. Not everyone is just going to just surrender like, okay, I trust this process. No, most of us are trying to patch our boat up, wherever the leaky holes are, and just try to stay afloat and keep that boat in service, when maybe this is an opportunity to get really good and skilled at surrendering. I feel like that should be the message for this week, the art of surrender. Because as I mentioned, the amount of energy and joy that we have to give up in exchange for keeping that heavy, wounding memories, emotions tapped down, that's more exhausting and more depressing than allowing it to flow. Of course, the fear is that it's going to consume us, that everything will fall apart beyond repair, and we will have great regret, and therefore we must hold on to dear life to our current broken circumstances. And well, if any of you have gotten the hang of or dabbled in the art of letting go and surrendering, let us know in the comments. Are you still okay? Did your world fall apart? Do you perhaps feel better? Maybe even more empowered? Maybe oddly, in a strange way, more in control of your destiny, and control being more aligned with your destiny. That's where the allowing comes. It's not necessarily controlling what's happening, it's allowing things to fall away that aren't serving you anymore, so that the new can come in, so that you have that energy to create something better with, for yourself and for others. If you're really struggling, I just want to say very clearly, please don't use this as all of your guidance, or if you're in a moment of crisis, reach out to any therapists, helplines that you might need, because I've never said that before, but that seems to me how intense this is, and I don't think this is just a little flash in the pan. I think we're going to be riding these tsunami waves for some months to come. So definitely this is a marathon, not a sprint. And if you're feeling shaky emotionally, psychologically, definitely make sure you have the professional help you need, okay? Because this ain't no joke. But I also want to say, anyone here on this earth is equipped to get through this. It's just a matter of finding that in yourself. Nobody can do it for you. You can certainly get guidance, wisdom, suggestions, advice, support, but we all have to walk our own line. We all have to solve our own inner puzzle, if you will. And again, we are all equipped to do so. Every one of you watching this and everyone not watching this. So have faith in yourself. I have faith in you. All right, let's finish up with some messages from the garden. Oh my goodness. It's bringing me to tears again. Success. Peppermint. Love. Tomato. Emotion. Cucumber. Cucumbers are very cleansing and very much in season in the Northern Hemisphere. Please ingest often. So good for you right now. Libra energy is showing up twice in these cards, and we also have Cancer energy with the emotion. So success to me is, I think, what the heart of the reading is expressing. Even though it might not look or feel like it, you are totally succeeding beyond your wildest expectations. And pat yourself on the back for sure. And I think there's more proof of that to come. Hopefully, you're getting little tastes of success, even if it's just a new awareness or an epiphany of something to let go of, not necessarily something that translates in your outer world in a physical truth. It could just be an understanding or an emotional truth. Also, love. Love is the key. I've talked a lot on this channel about self-love. I mean, who doesn't? Well, some don't, but I know I'm not the only one who does. Let's put it that way. But with this deep, deep stuff coming up to the surface comes an opportunity to deeply love and accept yourself, others, the world around you. Love is the answer. And when we supersede this reality and are not in this dimension, I feel like love is really all that there is, right? We've heard that expression many times. And it is the key to success right now. And emotion speaks for itself. I just feel like emotions are ramping up. They're hot and heavy and very deep. My eye just went to this stick of Palo Santo wood. Let me get it into focus. And there's like a plume of smoke coming out of there. Sage, clear your energy, clear your space. Just even setting that intention of just allowing your emotions to move and to lighten up the frequency of your space, of your environment, would go a long way. So I highly recommend that. And the number on this card is number 4. That's a number of stability and structure. So anything you can do to stabilize yourself in this highly emotional time is critical. And I'm going to go back to this image of this indigenous beautiful person in their canoe, in their skiff, all snuggled up. Maybe it's all you can do to just curl up in bed in your free time. And I understand too, not everyone has the indulgence to just nurture themselves all day or take a day off. We have responsibilities, we have jobs, etc. So as often as possible, just make that the priority. Maybe it's not about doing the laundry or the dishes or getting to the store, and just letting things be messy for a while. That's a simple, trivial example. I know it can be much deeper than that. I know I'm personally cutting corners wherever I can. Another night of leftovers, or how about some takeout, or whatever I can do to give myself a little bit of a break. And sometimes even going to get takeout is just like exhausting. So, you know what I'm saying? Just keep it in perspective. And I just know in my heart that you're all going to get through this time and that you're going to be better, stronger, more creative, and more aligned with your highest timeline, with your best trajectory, because of this cauldron of transformation that you're in. Let's put it that way. Well, everyone, I hope that was helpful. Thank you again for your patience in my absence. Again, I am going through this stuff like you, and I'm doing the best I can as well to manage. So I'm intending to go through all the zodiac signs and do another check-in before the end of the month. So please look forward to that. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. If you already have, thank you so much. I appreciate you. And I look forward to seeing you next time. All right, take care.